Hi guys, Piotr here. This is LiteFinance Global YouTube channel, and again it's my pleasure to be with you. What we are going to discuss? We are going to discuss crypto market this time, and we are going to discuss Bitcoin, Ether from the chart perspective, as well as we are going to mention the really big event is going to happen tomorrow. While I'm recording this today, I'm talking about the 8th of December. Huge roller coaster lately. Let's start with the chart, and then I'm going to, in the midline, I'm going to talk to you about the event which is going to take place tomorrow. Let's have a look what we have when it comes to the Bitcoin USDT chart based on the weekly time frame. All right, so as you can see here, we made new higher high compared to what we've seen around the April, May, June. All right, and huge sell-off. Now we might want to try to compare these sell-offs, all right, in the way of equal waves. If that's the case, as you can see, it might not be the final sell-off. All right, what I mean by that? All right, if that's the case here, what we wanna see some kind of the rally from where we are going to hit the low. That's the base over here, which has not been tested, guys, right? And this possible huge sell-off exactly hitting that possible demand zone. As of now, what happened over the weekend, we hit the possible demand zone from where we made new high. We are reacting with quite nice long lower shadow, but again, I would be careful, I would be cautious again. All right, and if that's going to be 1-to-1 like this, so how high could be the bounce before we are going to make and hit that lower low, right? So let's change the color here to a little bit more intraday, and from where we might see the move to the downside, and you are going to be surprise, right? Because it's going to be exactly at the line of the previous high on the weekly chart based on the open closing prices. I'm not taking into the consideration the upper shadows, right? So watch out in case of the retest of 58,60,000 and looking for some kind of the strong pullback, right? There is even worse scenarios, even much worse scenarios when it comes to the bulls position. It could be this type of the head and shoulders pattern, right? 6840, meaning 28,000 to the downside. You don't want to hear what I'm talking about. We are talking about the 12,000. Is it possible? Everything is possible on that market, right? So let's have a look what we have when it comes to the daily chart. Okay, let's have a look what we have here. Right, switching lower to the daily chart, boom, right? Also here it doesn't look great. Why? Because I think that we were supposed to stop the drop after the break through the previous highs. So we took out this high, right? And we were supposed to stop around 60,000. We didn't. So in that case, it's not a great view right now. So what we have, as you can see, once we broke through, we retested that high 3 times, and we've seen a strong sell-off. Again, we were holding the possible demand zone over here, right, with this lower shadow. That's a very positive sign. But to be honest with you, we have to take out through 60, hold 60 to see higher levels to come. It could be some kind of this possible megaphone formation setup, and in that case it could be even worse. So that's the bet, I would say, scenarios when it comes to the BTC market. Let's have a look what we have when it comes to the positive things. In that case, again, 58, 60, if we are going to take out these levels, right, if we are going to make these things like this to happen again, right, taking out 60,000, and then what next? Well, taking into consideration the previous scenario, we went higher from 30 to 60, 30,000, right? So in that case, if we are going to break higher, we might move towards 75,000 in that case, right? So that's a very bullish scenario. When it comes to the daily chart, of course, we have to hold above this particular low, right? So it might be worth to move to 4-hour chart and try to check what might happen. Well, we've retested this ugly candle top chart. We might see a little bit of the push lower, but I would say that we have to hold this particular level over here, right? In that case, we are talking about the levels close to, it's gonna be better visible, 46,000, all right? We have to hold 46,000 and still have a chance to retest 60. And if we are going to retake 60, the next big thing may happen. Otherwise, on the other hand, if we are going to break back below 46,000, well, some ugly things might happen, and we might see from this intraday chart perspective, we might see levels close to 35,000, all right? That's how I see the things related to the Bitcoin. Now, I've mentioned that tomorrow is going to be a very important thing because the big CEOs, when it comes to the 6 biggest crypto companies in the US, are going to testify, and that's going to be very, very important. They are going to testify before the Congress, and well, it could be that it was selling the rumors, and then we are going to have buying the facts. It's all about the possible upcoming regulations, and I'm very curious how the market is going to approach what's going to be the market takeaway. So that's what you have to remember, that tomorrow, towards the end of the day, we should have some comments, answers, and market takeaway when it comes to this big event. All right, the next one we are going to discuss, as I mentioned, is going to be Ethereum USDT. All right, so again, let's start with the weekly chart and switch lower to the daily. Well, it's not that bad if we are going to take into the consideration the weekly close, because we are trying to go lower below very significant levels, all right? But the market finally was able to close above. So what is going right now is like really by definition creation of the swing low. So as long as we are above that zone, as long as we are above previous weekly low, really we get a big chance to move much higher from here. All right, what I'm talking about, well, let's have a look what we have on that particular chart. Let's try to make the easiest measures. All right, something really clearly visible. So that was the big rally, right? So if we are going to take into the consideration what we've seen, and we are going to make that based either on the previous low or the most current low, we are talking about the zone in between 6,500 and then 7,200. So if we are going to try to find and catch the positive sentiment when it comes to the macro related to the crypto market, all right, 6,500, 7,200 when it comes to the Ether. Of course, there is the opposite side of the coin. In that case, if, for example, we are going to get the negative narrative when it comes to the event I'm talking about, if we are going to fail at the top and we are going to break through this week low and even more through the previous week low, 3,500, it might get ugly. First possible demand level is around 2,500. Let's switch lower. Let's switch to the daily chart. All right, to try to make the summary of that video. There we go. So when it comes to the daily chart, it was the perfect catch. The market or bears been perfectly caught in the trap around 3,500. Since then, we've seen the huge rally. All right. Now, what has happened today is that we hit huge supply level around 4,400. So if we are going to make first negative possible scenario, so what we might see is based on the daily 3,200, right? So it's the mid of the daily consolidation level from where we've seen the upside break with the possible stop count below 3,400, all right? And 3,000, sorry. And then again, if we are going to make stop count below 2,800, we are talking about what we've seen from the weekly chart around 2,500 with the stop count below these levels. On the other hand, when we are talking about the positive possible scenario, if we are going to be able to move back and hold right above this previous high, right, we might treat this as a stop count, and from here we might try to go towards 6,500, 7,200. So first thing first, I'm going to watch closely the market development after the event tomorrow, and then again I'm going to watch very closely what might happen towards the end of the week, taking into the consideration that we do have like holiday time with the lower liquidity, plenty of place for manipulation. With that being said, be careful out there, do your own homework, do your own research. Wish you a great next trading day and see you around. Take care, goodbye, good night.